wasn't something that just fell into your lap. Like, you had to make effort. You know, you had to put in work to make this happen. It wasn't like, you know, Vince or Kevin Dunn gave you a call out of the blue and said, hey, can you come do some extra work for us? Like, you had to put in the work, the effort, the energy. It didn't just fall out of the sky and fall onto your lap, which goes along with, you know, regardless if sometimes I'm fond of you or not, I can't deny that you've got an amazing work ethic, kid. There's no doubt about that.
Aww, David.
Oh gosh, here we go. But you spoke earlier about when you were in high school, being picked on, a bit of an outcast. You know, that's the reason why you and yours truly, David Barnabas Spector, why we gelled, why we connected, because that's the exact kind of individual that I look for in regards to unique, odd, strange talents to add to my roster with Darkness Worldwide. And in addition to you being obviously a top-tier female professional wrestler in the world today, you also, in accordance with your psycho gimmick, you like things that are a bit bizarre, a bit odd, a bit strange, which is another reason why once upon a time we actually got along. And what I'm referring to is, once upon a time, many fans will be shocked to hear this, but it's true. SHAWNA REED and old Barnabas were actually in Las Vegas, Nevada together. And we made a trip to, without question, the most bizarre museum I have ever gone to, ever. This is the most bizarre building I have ever been to, period. If I find something that tops it, I'm kind of frightened. But what I'm talking about is Zak-bagans Haunted Museum in Las Vegas. You and I went. Speaking about another celebrity crush. Thank goodness Zak-bagans wasn't there that day, because I don't know if I could have saved him.
Thank goodness.
I don't know if I could have saved him, because you
wouldn't have had to save him. He would have been willing.
He would have had flesh ripped from his torso. No clothes left on the man's body. They're running his establishment, his business. And you would have been all over him. And there literally would have been nothing that I could do. Because it's hard enough to even control you when you are somewhat sedated or mild or subdued. But for you to be on, level 2,000, 2 million after seeing Zak-bagans, oh, no way. It's impossible. So thank goodness he wasn't there. But the experience at the museum, very, very interesting. If you would, Miss SHAWNA REED, take us back in time to our visit to Zak-bagans Haunted Museum. Share some thoughts with the listeners of Radio Dark on what we experienced that day.
Well, first of all, he would have been very happy to be there. Okay? So let's just start off with that and clear that air. But anyways, long, long time ago in a land far away known as Las Vegas, Nevada, Barney and Shauna ventured into a haunted building. The second they opened the door to the haunted museum, I felt so much energy, just hit me, and it was almost hard to breathe for a second. From the energy from just the air of outside to going in there, you knew something, it was a sick place. And if I even remember correctly, I feel like by the second room, I asked you if you felt a little dizzy, and you said no. And I said, oh, okay. Then I thought it was just, me being like, okay, I know I'm in a haunted place. It's fine. Like, my mind's just playing with me.
I didn't feel dizzy, but I will say that there were certain areas of that building that breathing, your ability to breathe, and the temperatures fluctuated. So some of those rooms were a little harder to breathe in than others, and temperatures tended to fluctuate quite a bit throughout that building. So, it's possible that certainly affected you, or perhaps it was something else. But please continue.
Yeah, no, and they give you opportunity that if you don't want to, do certain things or see certain things, you don't have to. And I, being, me, decided I was going to see everything and do everything, unlike yourself.
I did almost everything. What I didn't do...
What about the divot box?
I did not mess with the divot box because I have a healthy appreciation for certain things. And at that point in time, I was saying to myself, no way, no how. They also had a mirror that belonged to Bela Lugosi that apparently... What was the backstory on the Bela Lugosi mirror? I know there was something where... Did he think he saw things in it, or did it cause him to commit suicide, or what was the backstory on that mirror? Do you remember?
I don't remember the backstory, but I know, now that if you look in the mirror, you're supposed to either, I think, your nose starts bleeding, or you're supposed to see, a face, or you get, or pass out. I think that's what happens when, you
and that's why I didn't look at it! That's why I did not look into that! That's why. See, listen, I'm the thinker. I'm the strategist. Of course I'm not going to do that. Yeah. But go ahead. Please continue.
And, what I found really interesting about that place? All the stuff that he had from, serial killers. How he had, Charles Manson's ashes and his robe that he died in, and how he had, Ted Bundy's glasses, and then, a picture, made out of Charles Manson's blood. And then there was that one room, I don't remember what serial killer it was, but it had the mattress that still had, the blood and the feces and all that from this person's victims, and it had his, journal that said, 1 o'clock arms, 2 o'clock legs, which was, just kind of, freaky, that kind of...
Kinda! It was terrifying!
Well, yeah. And then, Ed Gein's cauldron, that he used to,
I know it. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and then that decapitated witch's head, and then, the devil house or the demon house, how you had to make that, first move to, enter it, to make the walls fall down.
Yes.
I was like, oh, crap. But do you remember the whole time I happened to be, I kept saying that, my right eye was burning, and I kept on, touching my right eye, my eyelid.
Yes.
And, well, I think you already know this, but, and then afterwards, there was no scratch or anything, but I went to the eye doctor just to get my regular eye appointment to get my contacts and stuff, and they diagnosed me as legally blind now in the right eye.
I remember you telling me that. That's insane.
Yeah.
That whole building is insane, but just the fact that you're now legally blind in that eye that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It was kind of an eye-opening.
Oh, bada bing. Oh, my gosh. Wow. You are way too feminine to be doing these dad jokes. This is unbelievable. But yes, without question, for anyone out there listening, if you are into things like these, serial killer shows, if you listen to a great podcast called The Last Podcast on the Left, if you're into that type of thing, supernatural, paranormal, if you're in Las Vegas, it is definitely worth a visit. If you are not squeamish or of the faint of heart, because it is not for everybody. And another...
You have to sign a waiver to go in.
What's up?
You have to sign a waiver to go in.
Yes, that's right. So right from the get-go, they give you the option of, are you sure you want to do this? Are you really sure? Are you really, really, really sure? How about now? Are you still sure? And then you got to sign the form. So it was definitely an experience that I won't soon forget. Another rather interesting experience that you and I have shared is you and I, on Halloween night, traveled to the world famous, this ties into Zak-Bagans because this is how I even learned about this place, was through his show Ghost Adventures, where they spotlighted a little music venue called Bobby-Mackeys in Wilder, Kentucky. And I swear, SHAWNA REED, for years I swore to myself I will never step foot into Bobby-Mackeys. But times change. Things changed, people changed. And I knew that to keep Darkness Worldwide as the premier dominant faction in the world of professional wrestling, I had to up the ante. I had to go above and beyond to find just the right talents to join the best of the best, the oddest of the odd, if you will. So you and I went to Bobby-Mackeys. When we started, our crew, for the brief time that you were a part of Darkness Worldwide, it was a Darkness Worldwide crew that came to experience this on Halloween night. But there were also two or three young ladies that also were going to go on the tour with us. People that we did not know. It was at least two.
People that we didn't know there was two ladies that we didn't know.
Exactly.
And then two ladies me and another one that we do know.
Yeah, so two women that we did not know that came there on their own were going to go through the tour with us. They happened to be there at the same time. We welcome all. So we were fine with them going along. I don't even think it was 5 or 10 minutes into the tour, they were out. Because
Didn't they even travel from Texas or something?
They traveled from a pretty long distance, I remember that, and I know one of the gals started to feel nauseous and knew something was up and hightailed it out of there, which can't say as I blame them. However, we stayed. And on the second episode of RadioDARK, I had my longtime friend, Steve Cruz. On the broadcast, we talked about our experience going to Bobby-Mackeys. He's been to quite a few different haunted areas. He's actually been to Zak-Bagans Museum as well. But I talked about this with him. A lot of interesting activity that night. I would love for you to tell our listeners about your experiences at Bobby-Mackeys.
Well, honestly, I used to work in a nursing home when I was going to nursing school, and I experienced some kind of creepy stuff there. But and then we went to that Zak-Bagans Museum before, and we saw creepy stuff, and what's my whole eye thing. But I never really experienced anything I would really call firsthand. Then when we went to Bobby-Mackeys, you go there, you sign once again a waiver. And, they explain, the history, the rumors, everything, and then they tell you that they're not, they can't guarantee you're going to witness something on this trip. And, not even 10 minutes after that, we start hearing footsteps, right above our heads. And I think somebody asked what is right above us, and she said it used to be, some kind of, speakeasy or something, but it burned down in the fire a few years before. So there, like, that was kind of my first, like, ever hearing actual footsteps, you know, other